Hello everyone, my name is Tocho, and welcome back to another episode of Dragon Age Inquisition, and we are in, Redcliffe. I forget the name of this tavern. It's, oddly enough, doesn't seem to be the tavern from Dragon Age Origins. I mean, it's been 10 years and the place is kind of run down, but they've expanded. Here's a book. The first crow refused to speak even when you put hot coals to the soles of his feet and peeled the skin off his face and hands with a paring knife. Paring? He opted instead to chew through his own tongue and choked to death on the blood. The second captor repeated what we already knew. Queen Madrigal went on a hunt and did not appear for the evening's festivities. Her body was later found with 4 steel swords through the chest. I asked what he knew about one of the 4 swords being a replica of the Hessarian Sword of Mercy. He had not heard about that, or at least claimed as much. He later died on the rack, smiling slightly. The third crow must have realized he would not leave the dungeon alive. He seemed to hope that by angering Master Fior, he would earn himself a quick death. The crow tried our patience with her pithy comments while Master Fior was trying to work. At one point, he made a remark about Fior's mother, which I shall not repeat here. I will admit feeling of admiration for his ability to retain capacity for coherent speech and even some wit while under extreme duress. Amid all his useless chatter, the third crow did raise an important point. His guild has a reputation to uphold. They are ruthless, efficient, and discreet. How would they maintain such notoriety if agents routinely reveal the names of employers with something as banal as torture? This gave me pause. I called for a halt to the session after some thought. I stabbed the man through the heart and set the 4th and 5th captives free. If there is a confession to be extracted, it will not be done with pain. I recommend we abandon this course of action. Report by Captain Ursud, tasked with investigating the assassination of Queen Madrigal of Antiva. Why is that here? Anyways. Okay, so we're in Redcliffe. We talked to Grand Enchanter Fiona, I believe her name was. Turns out something weird's happened. She doesn't remember talking to us, or maybe didn't talk to us, because, I don't know, there's weird time stuff happening around Redcliffe, apparently. And they've pledged themselves to the Tevinters for some reason. Well, for some reason, because the Tevinters, quote-unquote, saved them from a Templar assault.
We don't need your kind here. Your Inquisition's just Templars by another name.
You'd rather bow to Tevinter than join the Inquisition.
Don't tell me you bought the Chantry's lies about how evil Tevinter is. It's just because they're ruled by mages. No one wants us to look at them and say their mages are free and the world hasn't ended.
Don't Magisters summon demons and practice human sacrifice?
The Chantry says whatever they think will scare us. What's wrong with blood magic? People don't like the idea of us controlling their thoughts, but they have no problem with us throwing fireballs in their wars. In Tevinter, the mages police themselves. It works.
I'm here because I believe mages deserve their freedom.
Right. And I'm the Empress of Orlais.
Well, I mean, I am.
Magister Alexius wishes only mages to remain in Redcliffe. He will approve of you. He does not approve of me. Many villagers have already left to escape his ire.
What does the Magister have against you?
He does not like to be reminded of what mages can become. He says all Tranquil must leave Redcliffe, but who would take us in?
You're one of the Tranquil.
Yes, my talent for magic was insufficient to protect me from demons. Rather than risk me becoming possessed, the Circle removed my connection to the Fade. My magic is gone, along with my dreams and desires. Those now in Redcliffe prefer not to see us.
How long have Tevinters been here?
Magister Alexius arrived at nightfall, 2 days after we retreated from the Temple of Sacred Ashes. He forced anyone without magic out of the castle, save those he required to serve him. Even the Arl was sent away.
Farewell, then.
One moment. You are a member of the Inquisition, are you not? I am an alchemist. You must require potions. If the Magister will not have me here, perhaps I can offer my services.
We would be delighted to have you working for the Inquisition.
Thank you. While one lives, it is good to believe there is still a use for one's talents.
They arrived 2 days after the conclave? And the Tevinter were already here. I mean, I don't know exactly how much time has passed since the conclave, but I think it's been I think it's safe to assume it's been more than 2 days.
Inquisition, huh? I wish to Holy Andraste you'd gotten here sooner. These Tevinters make my shoulder blades itch.
Who are you?
Name's Tolwyn, formerly of the Circle of Magi in Hospital. Lived my whole life there, since I was 10 years old and came into my magic. 3 meals a day, quality education, a roof over my head. If you're not summoning demons, a mage tower is a fine place to be.
If you were happy in the circle, why are you here with the rebels?
We're all rebels now. The vote saw to that. The majority wanted to dissolve the circles. The rest of us went with them or were cut loose. I figured I'm better off with my fellow mages than on my own.
You're not happy with this new alliance?
Something's not right about that lot. They're not like us. Magic or no, I'd rather count myself among decent folk than stand with magisters.
How did the Grand Enchanter end up working with Tevinter?
1 minute, we were bracing for the Templars to attack. The next, we had a Magister ally. It was a stroke of luck that's given us an edge. In a way. Out of the frying pan.
Goodbye.
Be careful. The Tevinters likely aren't happy you're asking questions.
Tevinter showed up 2 days after they retreated from the conclave. And they just happened to show up right whenever they were be attacked by a Templar. I mean, it's all a little too convenient to be by chance. Sears and the Allsmead, 23rd of Ferventus. When I set out for the capital of Ravane, I did not anticipate arriving in the middle of a little provincial festival. The streets are thick with fishermen and farmers coming in from the countryside for some gathering. Rural life apparently breeds fierce rivalries. I've seen more than one fistfight erupt in the square outside the inn. And do they call this music? Excellent wine, however, must be in Tevan. The 24th of Ferventus. The agreement is sealed. The merchant had more jewelry on his head than Orlesian women do on their fingers, but anyone willing to sell me silk at this price may dress how they please. Sabal, whose title is Anain, is an amiable sort who offered to show me all's meat tonight. Apparently the village leaders, hedge mages they dub seers, travel to Dareswood twice a year to meet in council, forge trade agreements, and publicly pledge loyalty to Ravane's queen. Deals made at Allsmead are seen especially auspicious. Savile warned me that sometimes hotheads will attempt to settle old feuds before these seers decree binding judgments here. But there are also feasts, lavish gift-giving ceremonies, musical contests, and other rustic nonsense. This explains the rabbles. Still, it might be amusing to sample the local color. I've just witnessed a loudly public exchange between two men trying to outdo each other with ridiculous boasts in the square. The most extravagant liar was applauded and decorated with wreaths by the crowd. The Ravani are lively. Okay, I'll grant them that, and not all are afraid to drink with a Tevinter. Ha! Peasant oaf threatened me after I tripped into him at a feast. A bit of fire cowered him. Impressed ladies too. What enlightened attitudes! These people have fantasasses. Lovely dancers here. Must rim to get vintage from innkeep. Label was blue. Oh, okay, he's getting drunk. Bit of fire. Why is he suddenly slurring like halfway through a small paragraph? Anyways. On the 26th, find out who's sleeping on top of me. Bring more robes for next year. Diary of Bescorus of Urantium. Okay. The annulment at Daresmold. When we heard of the injustice against our fellow mages at the at the White Spire, the Circle of Magi in Valrio, I feared it was to come to our circle at Derismond. I feared what was to come. That's the sentence, okay. Our circle at Derismond is small and isolated. It exists largely as a facade to appease the Chantry. When the other circles rose up, the Chantry sent seekers across the bay from Aisley to investigate. They found us mixing freely with our families, training female mages in the traditions of the seers, and denounced us apostates. Perhaps they thought we were spineless rogues who could be intimidated with a little bloodshed. Before I was first enchanter, I was the daughter of Captain Rivald, of the Felicissima Armada. I know how to plan a battle. They brought with them a small army of Templars. We fought and we might have won, but they invoked the right of annulment, with all the unrelenting brutality it allowed. It is their right to put screaming apprentices to the sword, burn our tainted libraries, and crush irreplaceable artifacts under their heels, tear down the very walls of our home. No mage has the right to disagree. Well, if the Derismud Circle wait now. But we of the Derismud Circle wait now behind barricades. I have sent word to our brother and sister mages of this outrage. When they break through, we will not be alone. Final journey of first enchanter Ravella, slain at Derismund at 940 Dragon. I don't know what the date is here. Anyways, so we got a note last time to head to the Chantry.
You all right, sir?
It's just a matter of figuring out where that is, somewhere over here.
You're from the Inquisition. I didn't think you'd still be here. Were you really looking to ally with us?
I want this war to end without sending you back to the Circle.
There has to be a way, right? We're not what they think, all blood mages and abominations. We just want to be normal, have families, use our magic to help grow crops or something. We never wanted war. What choice did we have? Stay and be slaves?
Sometimes to achieve the world one desires, one must take regrettable measures.
I hope you can do something. Tying ourselves to Tevinter. That can't be the right way to end this.
How long has Magister Alexius been here?
A day or two after. After the Conclave, he arrived. Come to save us from the wrath of the Templars, they said. But this doesn't feel like safety.
You don't approve of the Grand Enchanter's decision?
I was there when we voted to leave the Circle. She really seemed to care what we wanted. She was ready to rebel, but she wasn't going to unless it was the will of all mages. It's hard to believe she'd go behind our backs and sell us to the Magisters.
You seem young to be part of this.
I'm Lisas. I came into my magic when I was 9 years old. Templars came into the alienage and took me to the Circle. They didn't even let me say goodbye. It's not right. I studied hard. I passed my harrowing. I sing the charm. But I'll be locked up for the rest of my life.
Take care of yourself. There's something strange going on.
I never thought the Grand Enchanter would swear to a Magister.
So yeah, them showing up 2 days after the Conclave, like with all the chaos and stuff happened, they happened to come specifically to Redcliffe of all places. So there's something happening here.
May I help you?
Oh yeah, you're the smuggler.
I found the letter you sent a Templar named Corrin.
What? Shit. You can't prove anything. A letter from a rogue Templar. Nobody is going to care. So, what do you intend to do?
What kind of cut are they giving you? Have you got protection? I see a suspicious lack of guards. It looks to me like you've been cut loose. Maybe you should look for a new employer.
Are you serious? The high and mighty Inquisition needs smugglers? All right, I'm in. Seems like the Inquisition is the safer bet these days.
Alright, yeah, smugglers. Woo! We're just pissing off Cassandra left and right this episode. Yeah, this is definitely not the Chantry we left in Origins.
Good. You're finally here. Now help me close this, would you?
Hello. What are these circles do? Ooh, haste. That's nice. So there is time stuff happening.
Fascinating. How does that work exactly? You don't even know, do you? You just wiggle your fingers and boom. Rift closes.
Who are you?
Ah, getting ahead of myself again, I see. Dorian of House Pavus, most recently of Minrathous. How do you do?
Another Tevinter. Be cautious with this one.
Suspicious friends you have here. Magister Alexius was once my mentor, so my assistance should be valuable, as I'm sure you can imagine.
I was expecting Felix to be here.
I'm sure he's on his way. He was to give you the note, then meet us here after ditching his father.
Alexius couldn't jump to Felix's side fast enough when he pretended to be faint. Is something wrong with him?
He's had some lingering illness for months. Felix is an only child, and Alexius is being a mother hen, most likely.
Are you a Magister?
All right, let's say this once. I'm a mage from Tevinter, but not a member of the Magisterium. I know Southerners use the terms interchangeably, but that only makes you sound like barbarians.
Are you the one who sent that note, then?
I am. Someone had to warn you after all. Look, you must know there's danger. That should be obvious even without the note. Let's start with Alexius claiming the allegiance of the mage rebels out from under you. As if by magic, yes? Which is exactly right. To reach Redcliffe, before the Inquisition, Alexius distorted time itself.
Of course he did. Okay.
He arranged it so he could arrive here just after the Divine died.
You catch on quick.
That is fascinating if true, and almost certainly dangerous.
The rift you closed here. You saw how it twisted time around itself, sped some things up and slowed others down. Soon, there will be more like it, and they'll appear further and further away from Redcliffe. The magic Alexius is using is wildly unstable, and it's unraveling the world.
You're asking me to take a lot on faith.
I know what I'm talking about. I helped develop this magic. When I was still his apprentice, it was pure theory. Alexius could never get it to work. What I don't understand is why he's doing it, ripping time to shreds just to gain a few hundred lackeys.
He didn't do it for them.
Took you long enough. Is he getting suspicious?
No, but I shouldn't have played the illness card. I thought he'd be fussing over me all day. My father's joined a cult, Tevinter supremacists. They call themselves Venatori. And I can tell you one thing. Whatever he's done for them, he's done it to get to you.
Alexius is your father. Why are you working against him?
For the same reason Dorian works against him. I love my father, and I love my country. But this? Cults? Time magic? What he's doing now is madness. For his own sake, you have to stop him.
It would also be nice if he didn't rip a hole in time. There's already a hole in the sky.
Why would he rearrange time and indenture the Mage Rebellion just to get to me?
They're obsessed with you, but I don't know why. Perhaps because you survived the Temple of Sacred Ashes.
You can close the rifts. Maybe there's a connection. Or they see you as a threat.
If the Venatori are behind those rifts or the breach in the sky, they're even worse than I thought.
Do you have any suggestions?
You know you're his target. Expecting the trap is the first step in turning it to your advantage. I can't stay in Redcliffe. Alexius doesn't know I'm here, and I want to keep it that way for now. But whenever you're ready to deal with him, I want to be there. I'll be in touch. Oh, and Felix, try not to get yourself killed.
There are worse things than dying, Dorian.
Is Felix... Is his illness darkspawn infection? Is he blighted? I mean, that's the first thing that comes to mind whenever anyone says, you know, at least in this world, there are worse things than dying. You know, they're usually talking about turning darkspawn. Okay, I've got to level up. Hold on.
Do we believe that both Alexius' son and apprentice are turning on him? It seems someone wants to trap us either way.
Judging by the rifts here, I think Dorian was telling us the truth, weird as that is.
Okay, what are we doing? Okay, so they just want us to head back to the war room. Let's have a look around Redcliffe real quick first.
Hello, take care.
It's really recovered in 10 years since the Blight.
Good day.
I mean, I know there's a bunch of mages hiding out here, but like, they have like a functioning port. Most of the buildings have stone foundations and stuff. It was just a bunch of shacks last time we were here.
The Venatori have made the Oculara and are using them to search for something. Something like those old shards, presumably.
Every ocularum is made from the skull of a tranquil?
I figured they'd fled with the rebel mages. Poor bastards.
Oh, that's
I
grim.
had wondered what had become of them when the mages rebelled. What a tragic waste.
I had wondered where they had gone. I should have looked harder.
Wait, Connor's here? Where's Connor? Connor was the kid we, that got possessed in Redcliffe. There you are.
Are you Connor?
You've heard the story, I guess. I can't believe King Alistair thought Redcliffe was the right place to send the mages. I mean, he grew up here. Did he think they would just forget what I did to them?
Why isn't Arl Eamon in power anymore?
After the Landsmeet, he stayed in Denerim. I couldn't be his heir, not after what happened. So eventually he passed the title to Uncle Tegan.
You're not in favor of the alliance with Tevinter.
Alliance? Is that what they're calling it? That Magister threw my uncle out into the street. He signed us into servitude. This is my home. Redcliffe, Ferelden. No matter what evils I've done, I would never have invited Tevinter here.
You were behind the siege of Redcliffe 10 years ago.
That's me. The boy with Redcliffe's blood on his hands.
Weren't you possessed? It wasn't you who did those things.
Wasn't it? I let the demon in. Sometimes when I dream, I remember what happened. I see the death and destruction, and it's me. It's all me.
How did you end up in the Mage Rebellion?
I was living in the Ferelden Tower when the circles dissolved. I voted against it, but at first it seemed all right. No one was summoning demons. They just wanted to oversee themselves. But then the Magister came, and it's wrong what they do in Tevinter. We are monsters. We need to be controlled. If it wasn't for me, every family in this village wouldn't be missing a son, a daughter, a spouse.
I need to be going.
Please, talk some sense into the Grand Enchanter. Selling out to the Imperium won't win us any friends. We have to find a way to make peace.
Well, that's grim. I mean, honestly, I understand Connor's disgust with himself. But on the other hand, also, his mother didn't allow him proper tutelage. So, of course, he wasn't able to resist the demon. And she ended up hiring, what's his name? God, I've already forgotten the dude's name. Our quote-unquote friend from the start of Origins, the Blood Mage. The one that wasn't going to pass his heroing. Dwarven Merchants Guild is without question the most powerful surface dwarf institution. It has become what the Assembly is to the people of Orzammar, a prestigious club that everyone wants to belong to, and the surest means to obtain power and fortune. The guild leaders can always trace their lineage back to the noble merchant caste houses in Orzammar. The guild regulates trade between the Dwarven city and the surface, and so quietly controls the entire economy of Orzammar, though the ruling king or assembly would never admit it. The guild is heavily conservative, but has started to get more of the ascendants, especially banking families, into its membership, which has caused no small amount of infighting in the guild. Okay, so I guess while we're down here, there's a couple side quests we picked up along the way. We can go handle those before we go to the war room. No book to read? It was just a thing? Okay.
First time in all these years, I fear I will not be visiting your ashes. What world is this? That demons and brigands stop a man from taking flowers to his wife's shrine.
What if I took flowers to your wife's shrine for you?
I do not know what to say, except thank you. You were Dalish. My sinner and I, we kept to the old ways as we could. Though I know we are as children to you. Her shrine lies on a hill to the west, near the tablstones. Thank you.
Stay safe.
Walk in peace.
The
You've been driven away or killed.
Thank the Maker
See?
you came.
What did I tell
you?
you?
Me you're here to reinstate
It's not just
the
that.
circles and end
I heard
this
about
madness.
deaths too. Refugees killed by Templars.
I thought this was the stronghold of the rebellion. Why do you want the circles back?
I never supported this rebellion. I'm a loyal Andrastian, and I deplore the chaos this war has wrought. The Templars rebelling, the murder of the Most Holy. I can scarce live with the guilt.
Then what are you doing in Redcliffe?
The circles voted. Rebellion won out. What was I to do? Launch a counter-rebellion on my own? I followed my first enchanter's lead, as I always have. She brought us here.
I take it you don't support the Tevinters?
Andraste's ashes, never. They don't even sing the right chant. And they sacrifice children, don't they? I don't know how the Grand Enchanter could think of accepting their offer. You can get us out of this bargain, can't you? Before we're all shipped off to the Imperium like cattle.
I haven't seen anyone from Tevinter in the village.
They're all at the castle, plotting, no doubt.
I'm sorry, I didn't get your name.
Hanley Dervain of the Cumberland Circle of Magi. I heard of your miraculous survival at the Temple of Sacred Ashes, and I am so honored to meet you.
Thank you for your time.
It's been an honor.
Please, are you with the Inquisition? As you've wandered, have you by any chance seen a ram that is, different? Lord Wolseley wandered off, and he's very special. If you could find him, I'd be most grateful.
What makes your ram so special?
Well, he's always brought the family luck, and his advice helped us make our fortune.
Your ram offered advice?
He's a very special ram.
Your ram has gone missing.
Yes. I'm certain that if he heard his Jimmy missed him, he'd come right back. He's likely at our family's old summer cabin. It's by the lake in the southern hills. If you do find him and send him back, I'd be happy to pay you.
I'll speak with you later.
If you find my ram, please send him home.
Okay.
Too many people dying for want of simple herbs. My apologies. Can I help you?
Are you running short of healing herbs?
Yes. We've many injured from attacks by those cursed Templars. I need the herbs to treat people's wounds. It's too dangerous to go hunting through the hills to gather more. I've a list there of the herbs I need.
There are refugees at the crossroads who would benefit from a healer.
Of course they would. These attacks by the Templars have endangered countless innocent lives. But if I go to the crossroads to help, I might end up in danger myself. I doubt those refugees would risk their lives for a knife here. Why should I risk mine for them?
People are afraid right now. I haven't been called knife ear as often as I had expected. Mostly all the humans say is thank you. I expect you'll find the same. And change some minds in the process.
All right. The Inquisition soldiers are there, I might be safer regardless. I'll see you at the crossroads soon. Just give me a moment to gather my things. May I help you?
I found some of the herbs you were looking for.
With this, I'm certain I can save more lives.
Are you running short of healing herbs?
It's too dangerous to go hunting through the hills to gather more. Thank you so
Okay, so it looks like there's just some fetch quests going on, so I'm gonna run through those really quick, and then if anything interesting happening, I'll show up, but if not, I'll just share like a quick running around montage.
Do you ever miss life beneath the earth? The call of the stone?
Nah, whatever the stone, capital S is, it was gone by the time my parents had me.
But do you miss it?
How could I miss what I never had? But say I did have that sense, that connection to the stone. What would it cost me? Would I lose my friends up here? Would I stop telling stories? I like who I am. If I want to hear songs, I'll go to the tavern.
You are wiser than most.
Lord Woolsey, I presume? A young man named Jimmy would very much like you to return home. Ah, good.
He's just gonna... He's just gonna go home, okay. What if I killed him? He didn't like that. Okay.
I do not suppose you found my Senna's shrine. I know it is a long way to go.
I cleaned Senna's shrine and placed the flowers. May her ashes be gathered by Falondine and carried safely.
After all the long years she carried me, thank you. You do a foolish old man too much kindness. Maceranus, Dalen, take this with my gratitude. Senna would have wanted you to have it. Lord Wolseley came back! He says you convinced him. Here, for all your trouble.
There he is. Okay, we just told him to come back and he did. That's fine. Apparently he also gives financial advice. That's, I'm gonna walk away from that. So with that, we've finished up all the little side quests we can do right now. I'm not gonna handle the rifts or manage to get anywhere near that until I'm around level 12-ish. So let's head back to Haven.
We don't have the manpower to take the castle. Either we find another way in, or give up this nonsense and go and get the Templars.
Redcliffe is in the hands of a Magister. This cannot be allowed to stand.
The letter from Alexius asked for the Herald of Andraste by name. It's an obvious trap.
So we've heard from Magister Alexius. I expected as much.
And yet some of us want to sit and do nothing. Not this again.
Redcliffe Castle is one of the most defensible fortresses in Ferelden. It has repelled thousands of assaults. If you go in there, you'll die. And we'll lose the only means we have of closing these rifts. I won't allow it.
And if we don't even try to meet Alexius, we lose the mages and leave a hostile foreign power on our doorstep. Even if we could assault the keep, it would be for naught. An Orlesian Inquisition's army marching into Ferelden would provoke a war. Our hands are tied.
The Magister
has outplayed us.
We can't just give up. There has to be something we can do.
We cannot accept defeat now. There must be a solution.
Where is the Earl of Redcliffe? I'm sure he'd help us get his castle back.
After he was displaced, Arl Tegan rode straight for Dunrim to petition the Crown for help. I doubt he'll want our assistance once the Ferelden army lays siege to his castle. Wait. There is a secret passage into the castle, an escape route for the family. It's too narrow for our troops, but we could send agents through.
Too risky. Those agents will be discovered well before they reach the Magister.
That's why we need a distraction. Perhaps the envoy Alexius wants so badly.
While they're focused on Llewellyn, we break the Magister's defenses. It could work, but it's a huge risk.
Fortunately, you'll have help.
This man says he has information about the Magister and his methods, Commander.
Your spies will never get past Alexius's magic without my help. So if you're going after him, I'm coming along.
The plan puts you in the most danger. We can't in good conscience order you to do this. We can still go after the Templars if you'd rather not play the bait. It's up to you.
Announce us.
The invitation was for Master Llewellyn only. The rest of you must wait here.
Where I go, they go.
My Lord Magister, the agents of the Inquisition have arrived.
My friend, it's so good to see you again. And your associates, of course. I'm sure we can work out some arrangement that is equitable to all parties.
Are we mages to have no voice in deciding our fate?
Fiona, you would not have turned your followers over to my care if you did not trust me with their lives.
If the Grand Enchanter wants to be part of these talks, then I welcome her as a guest of the Inquisition.
Thank you.
The Inquisition needs mages to close the breach, and I have them. So, what shall you offer in exchange?
Actually, I hoped you could tell me about these Venatori I'm hearing so much about.
Now, where could you have heard that name?
I told him.
Felix, what have you done?
You wanted me here. Why?
Do you know what you are? You walk into my stronghold with your stolen mark, a gift you don't even understand, and think you're in control. You're nothing but a mistake.
What do you know about the Divine's death?
It was the Elder One's moment, and you were unworthy even to stand in his presence.
Father, listen to yourself. Do you know what you sound like?
He sounds exactly like the sort of villainous cliché everyone expects us to be.
Dorian, I gave you a chance to be a part of this. You turned me down. The Elder One has power you would not believe. He will raise the Imperium from its own ashes.
That's who you serve. The one who killed the Divine. Is he a mage?
Soon, he will become a god. He will make the world bow to mages once more. We will rule from the Boric Ocean to the frozen seas.
You can't involve my people in this.
Alexius, this is exactly what you and I talked about never wanting to happen. Why would you support this?
Stop it, Father. Give up the Venatori. Let the Southern Mages fight the breach, and let's go home.
No. It's the only way, Felix. He can save you.
Save me?
There is a way. The Elder One promised, if I undo the mistake at the temple.
I'm going to die. You need to accept that.
Seize them, Venatori. The Elder One demands this man's life.
Your men are dead, Alexius.
You
Liliana's people are efficient.
Never have existed.
This dude can just pop up rifts wherever?
Blood of the Elder One. Where'd they come from?
What?
Interesting. It's probably not what Alexius intended. The rift must have moved us to what? The closest confluence of arcane energy?
The last thing I remember, we were in the castle hall.
Let's see. If we're still in the castle, it isn't. Oh, of course, it's not simply where, it's when. Alexius used the amulet as a focus. It moved us through time.
Did we go forward in time or back? And how far?
Those are excellent questions. We'll have to find out, won't we? Let's look around, see where the rift took us. Then we can figure out how to get back. If we can.
What was Alexius trying to do?
I believe his original plan was to remove you from time completely. If that happened, you would never have been at the Temple of Sacred Ashes or mangled his Elder One's plan. I think your surprise in the castle hall made him reckless. He tossed us into the rift before he was ready. I counted it. The magic went wild, and here we are. Make sense?
There were others in the hall. Could they have been drawn through the rift?
I doubt it was large enough to bring the whole room through. Alexius wouldn't risk catching himself or Felix in it. They're probably still where and when we left them. In some sense, anyway.
Alexius mentioned an Elder One in the hall. Do you know who he was talking about?
Leader of the Venatori, I suspect. Some Magister aspiring to godhood. It's the same old tune. Let's play with magic we don't understand. It will make us incredibly powerful. Evidently, it doesn't matter if you rip apart the fabric of time in the process.
I like Dorian.
Then let's go.
I'm right behind you.
Okay, well this was a turn. Few quick thoughts before I end the episode, because I think this is a good stopping point. The first off is, as far as the where and when thing, we appear to be in the castle dungeons, and as to the when, I'm assuming they shunted us forward in time because red lyrium is a recent discovery. And it was like, hasn't really popped up until the conclave happened, like widely, so here's context clues for you. Also, Magister aspiring to godhood. This is kind of leading credence to my previous theory about the old Magisters, or Corypheus maybe, I don't know. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now. We'll continue with this in the next episode, so until then, my name's been Tojo. Remember, leave a like if you like, subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you all in the next episode. Bye-bye!